Hello and welcome to It's a Code U, mental health support for those working in healthcare. This is a podcast created for healthcare employees to explore not only issues relating to mental and emotional health, but also unique challenges that those working in healthcare are faced with. Your hosts are Adina Tucker, a licensed clinical social worker with Dartmouth Health, and Jennifer Hinsey, an MSW also with Dartmouth Health. Hello and welcome to It's a Code U. Today, we're exploring a powerful yet often overlooked tool in our mental health toolkit, Savoring. In the fast-paced world of healthcare, it's easy to overlook the small victories amidst the daily challenges. But what if taking a moment to acknowledge and appreciate these small wins could significantly boost our well-being?
So, what is savoring? Well, savoring is the practice of consciously attending to and appreciating positive experiences, about slowing down to fully experience joy, pride, or gratitude that comes with everyday moments. You might even say that savoring is mindful appreciation of a positive event, memory, person, sensation. There's been some research in positive psychology, and it indicates that savoring can enhance our positive emotions, it can increase our life satisfaction, and help us build resilience. According to a researcher named Fred Bryant of Loyola University in Chicago, who has been studying savoring for decades, savoring is more than just having a pleasant feeling. Many of us enjoy things. And he says things like a beautiful sunset, a really good meal, or going to a party. But savoring itself requires a step beyond that. It means being conscious of that good feeling and allowing it to expand within you. And in his words, it's you attending to the feelings that you're having in response to the stimulus or the pleasant feelings that you've noticed, and actually spending some time with them. Otherwise, they could be vague, fleeting, gone in a moment. According to psychologists Bryant and Veroff, positive events alone are not enough to bring about happiness. People need to be able to attend to and appreciate the positive feelings that emerge from positive events. Now, in the context of healthcare, savoring might involve things like taking a moment to appreciate a patient's smile, the successful completion of a challenging procedure, or a kind word from a colleague.
So let's talk a little bit about the science behind savoring and the benefits of it. Now, studies have shown that savoring not only amplifies positive emotions, but also helps in managing stress. A study published in Frontiers in Psychology, savoring interventions can help individuals recover and extend positive emotions after stressful events. And anyone who works in healthcare knows it is stressful. And as humans, we do have a tendency to focus on the negative. Negative experiences get more of our attention. And so this tendency is known as our negativity bias. And psychologist Rick Hansen often describes our brains as Velcro for negative experiences, but Teflon for positive ones. Savoring can decrease this tendency and positively impact our well being. An example of this can be seen in the research conducted in psychologist Sonia Lubomirsky's lab that showed the practice of remembering happy life events and attempting to replay them in one's mind prolongs and reinforces positive emotions. In a way, it makes the positive moments stickier. There's a cognitive component to savoring that works against taking good feelings for granted. An example is if you meet a friend for coffee at a cafe, try deliberately thinking not just about the taste of the coffee, but how lucky you are to have that friend in your life, the ability to walk to the coffee shop, or the freedom to be out in the world at all. Savoring can occur with respect to present positive experiences, so experiencing a pleasurable occurrence in real time, past positive experiences, like calling up the memory of a pleasurable occurrence, and future positive experiences, so anticipating a pleasurable experience. And when we share our positive experience with others, when we express it, we can actually intensify it. Savoring has been linked to increased happiness, reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety, and it's shown to enhance more positive emotions and build relationships, as well as helping to protect against negative emotions. Savoring positive experiences doesn't just bring momentary joy, it can also buffer us against hard times, reducing our stress. It can help us prevent depression, recover better from an illness, and adjust better to aging. It's also been found to help with addiction recovery, helping people recognize that pleasant feelings produced without drinking or drugs can be consciously augmented. And finally, savoring helps with our relationships too. It strengthens by helping people feel closer to one another, even during times of separation.
One of my favorite ways to savor is pleasant experiences with different food. Really enjoy food. So when I eat something that's just exceptional, I try to physically slow down in the moment as I'm consuming it. And then it's like I get to enjoy it all over again when I tell somebody maybe the next day, I had the best piece of cheesecake I've ever had in my life. And then we get to talk about the best cheesecake they've ever had, right? Or something really delicious that they've enjoyed. How do you like to savor?
When you were talking, I was thinking about how, for instance, like when I go on a hike and I like to, especially when you get to a part, like a big clearing or something, I like to just close my eyes and smell and take a deep breath to take everything in and just like really look around and just really savor the moment of I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have anything I have to do in this moment. I can just be out here and just appreciate the sun on my face or rain because I do like a rainy hike and just really try to remember that because sometimes I do like to draw on those times if I'm just kind of like close my eyes and put myself there if I'm feeling particularly stressed or something.
That's great. Yeah. Right. That's a good space too to enjoy all the senses, you know? Yeah. Great.
I really, one thing that I really like to do also related to that is I like to sit without any music or anything on and look out we have a couple of windows where there's like trees outside of them. So in the back windows, there's a bunch of trees. So sometimes I just like to sit quietly and watch the leaves blow. I really like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, now let's talk about some practical tips to cultivate savoring. Now, savoring, it's a skill in which we attend to, appreciate, and enhance our positive life experiences. And there's three main components at work here. First is the attending, which means we're giving the experience our attention. Next is appreciating. We feel gratitude for the positive experience and the positive sensations we're having. And then third, enhancing. We dig a little bit deeper into what we like or enjoy about this particular experience. Now, there's a few different ways we can do these three things. We'll talk about a few of them, and I'll start with talking about savoring the past. Savoring the past is maybe one of the easiest ways to practice savoring. So, to do it, you just spend a few minutes thinking about a happy, joyful, pleasant event that happened to you in the last week or perhaps in the last month. So, for example, you could think about hanging out with friends or maybe completing an important project. And as you're thinking back on the pleasant event, you think about the people, the smells, the sounds, the physical sensations, and the sights that you experienced. You think about it and try to recreate it. Recreate those positive emotions that you felt around the time of the event. And as you are doing this, you let your thoughts wander to anything else about the happy experience that makes you feel good. Then you just mentally hold on to whatever feels good about this particular moment that you're recalling. You can take a deep breath and pay attention to how these emotions actually feel in your body. You let the emotions fade on their own until you're ready to go back to whatever else you were doing in the present. To savor the past, you could also look through old photos until you find one that reminds you of a positive event that you maybe forgot about. Spend a few moments thinking deeply about the event, and as you're thinking back on this event, again, think about the people, the smells, the sounds, the physical sensations, and what you experienced, what you were seeing. Think about it, try to recreate those positive emotions, and then again, let your thoughts wander to anything else about that happy moment captured in the picture. It makes you feel good. Mentally try to hold on to them, trying to make them as strong as possible. And then come back to the present whenever you're ready.
The next way to practice savoring is to savor the present. So you can do this by paying attention anytime you experience something positive. Whenever you notice yourself feeling good, mentally hold on to that by thinking about the positive emotions and what caused them. An example would be many positive moments passes by when we're scrolling on our phones. So if we stop for a moment to savor and appreciate these moments, we can make them actually last longer. And as you're surfing the internet, pay attention anytime you experience something positive. Maybe your friend shares a video that inspires you, or a meme that makes you laugh, or a colleague posts a joke that makes you smile. Watch a video that teaches you something interesting. A third way that you can cultivate savoring is to capitalize on the present. So, to savor your positive emotions even longer, you can do what is referred to as capitalizing on positive events. You do this by showing it, telling it, or sharing it with others right away. So the positive thing that happens doesn't have to be anything special. You could simply think, hey, I'm feeling great today, and then share that with someone else. You could show it by expressing the positive emotions in your facial expressions and body language. You could smile, laugh, or throw your hands in the air. These expressions of happiness can help prolong the positive feelings. You can tell it by talking to someone about why you're happy. Call or talk to a friend, talk to the people around you about what you're feeling, and that can further generate more positive emotions for you. Share it by sending a text message or posting on social media, writing it down in a journal for you to reflect on later. All of these things are ways to really solidify and prolong those positive emotions and feelings.
You can also try practicing savoring the future. Now, we often experience positive emotions when we're striving for a goal, even before we've achieved that goal. For some of you, that might actually be something you're very familiar with. But how can we use something like that to practice savoring, but doing it for future events? Well, we do it by using our imagination to increase our happiness. So, here's an example. You might be looking forward to a vacation this summer. If so, you could practice savoring by thinking about what you're going to be doing on vacation, who's going to be there, the different positive emotions you hope to feel during that vacation. And as a result, you'll generate positive emotions from an event that hasn't even happened yet. Now, let's also talk about implementing the savoring skill in the workplace. Incorporating savoring into, for example, the healthcare environment can actually be as simple as starting meetings with a round of what went well, or creating a bulletin board where staff can post positive experiences and acknowledgments, talk about positive patient outcomes. By fostering this kind of culture that recognizes and appreciates small victories, we're not only enhancing individual well being, but we're also contributing to a more positive and resilient workplace. Now, we do want to acknowledge that not every experience at work, especially when caring for patients, is pleasant, and sometimes it can even be traumatic. But even in the midst of a not so great experience, there are ways to be more open to the good. And doing that can actually help the bad feel less problematic. So even on the hardest days, something usually goes right. Maybe it's a little moment of teamwork, patient smile, a kind gesture from a colleague. And when we experience those little moments, we can pause and mentally name it. We can say to ourselves, that was a good moment, and I'm glad I caught it. This is called positive event labeling. And research shows that it increases the intensity and duration of positive emotions, which again really can be helpful when we are in the midst of a really hard day or a really hard experience on the job. When grief is particularly painful, psychologist Fred Bryant, who we mentioned earlier in the episode, recommends still trying to savor social connection in other ways to help you cope. This could look like reaching out to an old team member that you haven't seen in a while and let them know that you're thinking of them, that you value them. Could also be telling a coworker, hey, that thing you did earlier, you did a great job. Or, did you see how happy that patient was? Sharing the good reinforces the goodness for both of you. And capitalizing is shown to strengthen resilience and social bonds. Sometimes taking the focus off of yourself or showing a bit of gratitude for another person can help you shift feelings in a more positive direction as well. Now, crafting an end of shift ritual can be another powerful way to close out your day and reflect on the little wins, even if the shift was overwhelming. You might just take 1 minute to name one thing that went okay, one thing that you feel good about contributing, one thing you're taking with you at the end of the day. Maybe that was a lesson, a connection you made, a moment that you feel good about. Savoring in this way can mean training your mind to register the positive, not just the stress, as well as the meaning infused into every shift that you work.
Some other practical ways to incorporate savoring into your daily routine: take a mental snapshot. So, when something good happens, pause and mentally note the details, the sights, sounds, and feelings. This practice can help you recall and relive the positive experience at a later time. You could also express gratitude. Regularly acknowledging things you're thankful for can shift your focus from stressors to positive aspects of your life. And lastly, you could use some mindful engagement. Fully immerse yourself in enjoyable activities, whether it's savoring a cup of coffee during a break or appreciating the camaraderie during a team meeting. Use micro moments of joy. You may not get 15 minutes of peace, but you can savor 15 seconds. So, a warm cup of coffee, the sound of laughter down the hall, or finishing a hard task and letting yourself feel the satisfaction, even briefly. Do we have any closing savoring thoughts? I don't know if this would be considering savoring or not, but one thing we haven't been doing a great job about it lately. We've been watching TV shows together while we eat our dinner, but one thing we were doing for a long time was sitting around the table and then letting the kids go through like their day and talking about what the best parts of their day are, which is nice because a lot of times children have complaints about school. So it was a way for them to focus on like the good parts of the day and then also share that with us. I've seen it on TV shows a lot where people go around and say, "What were your highs and your lows?" and working on focusing more on the highs of the day. What are the positive things?
I think that's a good one. A good one too for parents.
Well, and I think with like little kids, like when my kids were like very small, I know one thing that I noticed growing up a lot that probably a lot of parents, but especially moms do is like this pressure to like, well, the laundry's not done and the dishes aren't done because things tend to pile up when they're very small. And I never wanted to feel annoyed by my child because I couldn't do a cleaning task that I probably didn't want to do anyway. So I tried to adopt early this idea of what gets done, and what doesn't. As long as people are bathed and fed, then that we've won for the day. But really taking the time to enjoy sitting there, especially when they're real little, like when they're little babies and they're laughing about something for the first time or well, those are nice moments to just soak in.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's a great extension into like our lives, right? Because we all get so caught up and busy, like in a rush, work and stress, expectations, things we have to do, that it is really easy to bypass like good, happy, positive moments. But yeah, it's like we can take a pause and actually perceive them and feel them and really enjoy them for what they are.
I was talking with someone was talking about that. I think it was like a nurse, and she was saying that she tries to make it a point to, especially if she's having a really engaging conversation with a patient, to try to maybe take an extra moment if she can, just to because sometimes no one's there visiting them or whatever. And it's also like a bright spot in their day as the nurse because like you're getting to have a nice interaction and connection in the midst of running around doing all the things, that you have to do and taking care of everything. So, well, as we wrap up, we just really want you to remember that in the demanding field of healthcare, taking time to savor the small wins isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for sustaining our mental health and the passion for our work. And we appreciate you listening. And if you have any questions or feedback, please reach out to us at dhbhs.media at hitchcock.org. And thanks for listening.